look out. Here's trouble. G'day, legends. Time for a bit of Jim Does SuperCoach. Coach. AFL SuperCoach edition. I'll tell you what, NBA SuperCoach this week has been a disaster with all the missed games. But hey, AFL SuperCoach, it's time for Gather Round. We've got all of our teams playing. Who would have thought that'd just be good to have all your teams in your competition playing every week? Good job, AFL. Anyway, so we say goodbye to best 18 scoring, which is making everything just that little bit more fraught. But it means we have our full battery of players on offer, which is very fun. So, what are we doing? How did we go? Just a bit of a quick drop by for the Gather Round AFL SuperCoach team reveal. What are we going to do this week? Well, last week, I think we've basically keep hitting, just butting our heads over here in SuperCoach world against the top 13% of other AFL SuperCoaches. I think I am now, so this week I scored a 1930, which wasn't too bad. It also wasn't that great. Luckily I had the Sion Bont. We bought in Bont last week. That was a smart idea. He was awesome. Everything else was just a little bit squirrely. I mean, there were some pretty good ones, but I mean, it's like the likes of Sam Walsh keep letting me down. I mean, in real life and in SuperCoach. As a Blues supporter, it's just brutal. Jagger managing only 70 was pretty rough. Jai Sarong was an absolute jet. James Sicily only managing 86 was a real kick in the guts. Thought he'd have a really, really awesome day against Geelong. Took that massive mark late. You were feeling pretty good, but it was everything else that sort of let him down a little bit here and there. What I did do, though, last week in bringing in Sam Darcy, I felt pretty good about it at the time. I feel better about it after he scored 111 for me. And just in general, having him in my forward six, I feel okay. So 1930, it was an okay stepping stone. That has me, that was the top 13%. I'm still top 13% overall as well. So I think out of all of the rounds where we've been scoring, I keep basically going to the top 13% and not being able to crack that top 10%. So the season rank is now, what, 24,000? Jumped back up after last week's disaster, up 13,000 spots. So yeah, relatively good week this week, but still a lot of upward trajectory hopefully left. Daicos being laid out obviously hurt everybody last week. The coverage that I had, look, I felt okay this week with Sarong doing okay with 118, Lockie Neal 114, but really it's Sam Walsh not going absolutely hammer and tongs. That sort of just hamstrings that midfield with a 91. And otherwise, I mean, Fonte, Buderick, I'm going to get to them in a second. Mid-prices, the mid-price madness, I do love it usually. It might be time to say goodbye. But obviously the biggest news this week is if you've got Tim English, that sucks. So Cherry goes out suspended for 3 weeks. People go, sweet, I'll replace him with Tim English. Tim English goes, oh God, I'm a big fella and I've fallen over this way. I've been hit and my knee's gone that way. The rest of my body went that way. Are you with HPA? It was brutal. So that sucked. Sucked for English owners. He goes out. He, obviously in the traded out category this week, he is number one with a bullet. Next up, look, and Tim English, yes, trade him. Cherry as well. Look, the craziest part about this week is there are folks out there with Tinglish who are holding Cherry just going, God, now I've got no ruckman. The good thing is you might still be able to jump from both of those guys to Max Gawn and Brodie Grundy like it's bloody 2021 or 2022 or something, right? You're laughing at that point. It's pretty great. Just the more things change, the more they stay the same. Running with a Gawn Grundy, basically, ruck tandem in 2026 wasn't really on my bingo card, but here we are. I'm excited for it. So I'm not going to be doing that. Lockie McAndrew stepped up big time. He was my R2 last week with the 123. Luke Jackson was very good as well with 126 for me too. So already having Jackson and McAndrew in my ruck spots. I feel okay about McAndrew this week as well against the Blues, so I'm happy rolling with him at R2 and leaving Bont in the flex for me. So feels all right. Because with Tinglish going out, obviously a lot of folks jumping to either Maxi Gawn, maybe down to Oscar Steen. I don't mind that. They're using him a lot. The Pies, Darcy Cameron just like, look at me be awesome, sort of everywhere else but the ruck. Grundy is coming in for a lot of folks as well. Luke Jackson's the third best pick, I think, there the third most popular pick at least. for coaches to replace Tinglish. But the other one was Ed Richards goes out. That sucks. He's been fantastic. Under the radar kind of dude, but he is the sort of, had been a very interesting pod. Now he's done. What are we going to do? Don't know. But if you look at some of the players who are being traded in this week, it's Gawn, it's Steen, it's Grundy. Cozzy Pickett is the other big one, 518K. He's been tearing it up, ripped off another 126 last week. Looks really good. Kitty Coleman, he still has a break even of minus 26, 311. Hey, 311. Just drop Jim. Yeah, there it is. He's at 311K. I love that. The thing is, Kitty, I love that. He had 113 last week. He's a little bit pricey, I think, to bring him in now. And it's like, I've got another name in mind, but we'll get to that. Lockie Ash has been crushing it as well. Just keep that in mind for a bit of a pod. He's in 13.9% of teams. Cal Wilkie, another interesting one. But outside of these names, the biggest ones obviously are your ruck sort of, decisions we're making this week, and sort of looking at pods, ongoing pods. And having watched LDU carve it up, I'm a little bit regretful of not bringing in LDU last week. We had talked about it on the show very briefly. He's only in 7.2% of teams. That would have been pretty nice. Just saying. Jack Steele is another fascinating one, 5.8%. He managed 147 last week. He's going through an absolute purple patch right now in his new colours. So that's kind of neat. You love to see it. But otherwise, the cash cows, those are the big trade targets this week. And with everybody playing gather round, really, you sort of look at some of these matchups. And if we just sort of go through, I guess, some of these matchups. We do this on the NBA show, right? When you just sort of go through each game and who might be the sort of big sort of scorers here. Adelaide Carlton. It's like Rochelle might absolutely have the best game of his career tonight. Rankin might kick 4. No problems there. George Hewitt's been dropped, so that sucks for SuperCoach. But it might work for Sam Walsh. It might work for Jagger Smith. It might work for Cripps as well if you've got them. One to keep an eye on as he works back into form in the defensive end. Nick Newman? Anybody? Bueller? I don't know. Collingwood Freo. Obviously, Oscar Steen is the big one. He's on the bubble. Massive break even of minus 52. Feeling pretty good about himself. Freo. Daicos is coming back for the Pies. Fly McRae's already come back and just gone, yes, he's coming back. He's playing. He looks so proppy against the Lions. It was before the game against the Lions that he missed. So, still, I think even with Daicos back, the big thing for Freo was Sarong and Brayshaw, Luke Jackson. I kind of like Freo a lot in this game. Therefore, I probably really like Sarong and co. So, especially on the confines of the Adelaide Oval, I reckon Sarong can get off the chain. Brayshaw might be an interesting one as well as a bit of a pod too. So, there's some pretty interesting, fun matchups this week. What else? North Brisbane. This is a fascinating one. I really like Lockie Neal in this. He's already my team. I feel okay about it. LDU, Shees, they should be cooking. Like Kitty Coleman as well. The way that North Melbourne play, there'll be plenty of ball for Brisbane just to be mopping up. Kitty Coleman should carve it up as well. Don't mind that. What else? Essendon, Jacob Farrow is one of the big cash cows this week. He's coming into my team, FYI. But the D's, Maxi Gawn, Cozzy Pickett. This Demons team might absolutely steamroll this Bombers squad, which is a bit of a weird thing to be saying if you cast your mind back to before the season, but here we are. And yeah, I love Cozzy again. It's one of my great regrets is not having him already in my forward line. But anyway, Gawn, great matchup again as well. Both he and Grundy have got pretty decent matchups as well. Grundy, again, there we go. We'll get to that in the next one. Sydney Gold Coast on. It's not even Adelaide Oval, this one. This one is over in Norwood. The little, basically it's a oblong. It's awesome. Sydney Grundy should be absolutely carving up. Chad Warner, I love the idea of Chad Warner coming in at some point. Heaney came back with a whang as well, so that'd be kind of interesting to see how he goes. Because, Grundy had 184 last week, meaning his break-even is absolutely minuscule. 76, that's pretty good. Especially with a stoppage-heavy game like Norwood will probably provide. It's a tasty one, I'll tell you what, Grundy. McInerney, I love him too. Heens had 156 last week. He's a pure mid though, so it'll be interesting to see if the DPP sort of swings around and he gets a forward slapping. But anyway, he's at 588k though, so it's a bit hefty, but 156 means that he's worth it. Chudley Warner only managed 88 last week. Gold Coast, I don't know how this is going to work out for them. I feel like Matt Rowell, as his hand gets better and better and better, will be the go-to. Noah Anderson is pretty handy as well, obviously. The rest of the Suns, I don't know. Bit whiffy. Hawthorn Dogs, what does this mean for the Bont? Oh, well, if he's in your team, I'm probably going to roll the VC on him as well. And Saturday night at the Adelaide Oval, this should be a massive game. The Dogs versus Hawthorn is awesome. Even without Tinglish, I still like the Dogs' just battery of talent to keep them at least close in this game. The Hawks, yeah, they've got their dudes. We know that. But, I mean, in terms of SuperCoach, what, Sicily maybe doing a bit of work, doing a bit of mopping up there in the back half. I'm keeping in my team this week. I did just, toss around the idea of just going straight to Naz from Sicily, but managed to get both of them in my team. We'll get to that in a second. But otherwise, like even in that amazing game last week against the Cats, the Hawks SuperCoach scoring was a little bit sort of depressed. I think it was all very well spread out. So yeah, it's an interesting one for SuperCoach. Speaking of the Cats, they've got Norwood against the Eagles, Holmes, Bailey Smith. They should absolutely go massive. It's the one sort of regret is that I don't have either of those two in my team at the moment. Holmes was the ultimate pod. Now everyone's on him. Bailey Smith as well was in my team for a big chunk of the preseason. And then I think I eventually pivoted to Daicos last second and I haven't really regretted it, but he had 118 last week. Holmes had 112, 643 for Bailey Smith, 610 for Maxi Holmes. Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Tanner Brune's still on my team. Feel okay about that. He was really good last week. He managed a 92, so he'll keep on rising up in price. Eagles, Harley Reid, Bam Lamb wasn't too bad. Tim Kelly popped off. Sweet. That's all right. But the Eagles, whatever. I mean, Josh Lindsay is like, we talk about cash cows. That's kind of okay. Like, Josh Lindsay managed 46, so he rose 45K. He's in a lot of teams. Still a break-even at minus 15. On Norwood, he should get a bit of the ball. GWS Richmond. Ooh, boy. Lockie, Whitfield, Ash, all the dudes. I feel like GWS might have a really fun time of it on Sunday out at the Barossa against the Tigers. It's also a bit of a trap game, but Lockie Ash, I think, is a massive one. Finn Callahan, one of my favourite sort of pods that I'll be trying to get into my midfield later on in the season. 3.4% owned, just saying. I think the run starts here for him. And the Tigers, look, Grill is crushing it. I don't have him in my team, which sucks, but yeah, that's about it for the Tigers. And then you got Port versus Saints. So this is the finale of Gather Round. Adelaide Oval should be a rip snorter too. Butters is in a lot of teams. He should be fine. Jack Watkins is probably being traded out a lot of teams as well. Ollie Wines comes back. Be interesting to see how he goes with teams tonight, Jack Watkins. But, I mean, I'm not playing him on field this week, so I don't really stress too much being able to get, I'll get to my trades in a second. But, yeah, not sacrificing my rookies right now. He only managed 7, though, this week, Watkins. So, he's on the bench, so I'm not really too stressed about it. But otherwise, I mean, Naz and the rest of the Saints, they're the sort of really interesting one this week. If they can't go massive against Port, what are we going to do? Sinclair's been incredible for everybody. He's already in 44% of teams. Naz is only in 27% now. Stupid Sexy Flanders is in 61. TDK, yeah, I don't know. Saints, bit stinky. So what are we going to do this week, Jim? Well, I mean, we'll get to that in a second. Let's do some cash cows very briefly because you haven't done that yet, Jim. Yeah, you should be reading your your little notes there. I shouldn't I? So Milan Murdoch's still out for a little bit. Todd Marshall, we're still awaiting word. It doesn't look like he'll get up for this week. I don't know, but it's fitness test. They are playing Sunday. Who knows? He's on my bench already, so not too stressed there. Oscar Steen with the break even of minus 52, 119K. Love it. The one thing will be if they just continue rolling with him, if he gets a rest at some spot. But he's looked the goods so far. He had 41 last week, but still, minus 52, cheapy ruck, can't complain about it. Zach Katalski, break even to minus 46, didn't play this week. I'd really like that if he got named this week just to keep making me some money as my R3. Jacob Farrow. There you go. He's coming into everybody's team now. He ripped off a 90 last week. Looks awesome. Break even to minus 42. He was one of my preseason favorites in the team. Dropped out because he obviously wasn't named the first round. So in the team now, which I'll get to in a second. Jai Sarongo's whack 126. Break even now down to minus 39. He is in a lot of teams already though, Joe Sarong. So if you don't have him, what are you doing? He is already owned. Where is his ownership numbers? There we go. 74% of teams. Yeah, he's pretty good. Lockie McAndrew, break even minus 35. Schoenberg had 48 last week, break even minus 35. Not bad. Josh Lai had 54. That's pretty good. Artie Jones got knocked out. That was horrible. Dev Robertson got rubbed out last week. Comes back. Still got a break even to minus 28 at 200,000 too. Feel good about that. Kitty Coleman, that's awesome, isn't it? Break even to minus 26 at 311. Will Brodie got dropped, which was pretty rough. Sam Grill still got the break even to minus 13. He's going to make a lot of money. Wade Dirksen is one to keep an eye on. Break even to minus 12. If you get, he's been named for tonight again anyway. Had 53 on debut. They need him desperately, so he should probably get a bit of the pill this week. They don't have much down back to the Blues, so especially losing Wiedering. Will Hayward gets suspended. But anyway, Dirksen, keep an eye on him, 99K. Love that. And that's just about where we'll go with the really solid cash cows. Who's going to make the most money? Yeah, it's about the same guy. So Steen's going to make a packet. But anyway, so what are we going to do? Well, I've basically gone, time to bite the bullet. Fonte and Buderik go out. Fonte... my plan was always try to get Naz after the bye for the Saints. He did drop in price pretty dramatically, and I think that's what's going to happen now. So I think I like Naz's run from here on out too, for the simple fact that Port don't scare me. Even on Adelaide Oval, I feel like he could go absolutely massive against them. Then he plays again in Adelaide against the Crom next week, and I think he could go massive against the Crom as well. Then he's got West Coast at Marvel, the Blues at Marvel. That is just a nice, solid 2 games in Adelaide, 2 games at Marvel. Nice little run for Naz, where I think if you look at his projections, it really discounts, I guess, the player that he's become and his role this year. So I'm trying to get him in now because I think his break-even this week is, I want to say 119. The projection's only giving him a 6% chance of getting that. I do not agree, and I feel like the Power have very few answers for Naz. So I'm going to bring him in. So out of my backline goes Fonte. I don't like trading out Fonte. I think he's got a great matchup this week against Richmond. I think he could score a lot, but I'd rather have Naz on my team now, have 4 really decent primos in the backline rather than 3 a Fonte and 2 rooks. So as part of that, out goes Buderik in my front line as well. So both those back defender and forward mid prices are just Dunskies. I'm just sick of them. I love him. I don't want to do it, but this is how it's going to go. So I send Braden Cook forward. Farrow goes into my midfield, and that's basically it, right? So sacrificing 2 mid prices to go up to a super duper primo, bring in an actual rookie who's going to make a big packet, and to be honest, might make more money than Buderik, who'd sort of gotten to this point where it's not exactly stalled out, but he would be struggling to make like really solid amounts of cash. I mean, because if you look at Buderik's scoring, like the break-even is only 45, but he's only at 308 already. And his starting price was 245, so he's made 60K, but it's sort of slowed dramatically after his 105. He's then gone 73, 67, 72. Yeah, I love Connor Buderik. Really believe in him, believe in his role with the Dogs, and the same with Joe Fonte. But yeah, to bring in Naz this week and just sort of have that locked and loaded for the rest of the season, fingers crossed, and have Farrow brought in, I feel okay about that because I don't want to sideways trade any of my other rookies to get Farrow in. Even Watkins, like that 7 next to his name, it's fine, but he's on the bench. It doesn't really bother me too much. And you look at like Blamires or Farrow's like on-field scoring ability, being able to switch between either of those two, and I'm probably going to roll with Farrow against the Demons as my mid-8. And then you look at the actual sort of forward structure as well. That's where it sort of starts getting a little bit sideways because it's suddenly Braden Cook is playing, Dev Robinson's on field. Hopefully Todd Marshall comes back this week. the big question I've got for me is like starting either Goddard or Lombard on field. So probably Goddard because he could go and run rampant against Richmond, whereas Leo Lombard's got a pretty tough ask against Sydney. So we'll probably go with Goddard in the end. So in terms of captains, what are we going to do? I still believe in the Bont. I'm going to probably throw the VC on Bont this week and then jump on the C for Naz later on. I think he could go huge against the Power. It's like just such a big moment as well. Gather around the final game. Just everything's leading up to this moment. It's just this, like having been to gather around a couple of times, that final game is absolutely magical. Like everybody is so psyched and so just like everything's just coalesced in this one final moment and it's awesome. And I feel like Naz could take that center stage and absolutely tear that game apart. So feel okay about the team this week. Hopefully we crack that top 10% and I hope that you guys go all right. But all right, there we go. That's it for this week. Happy Gather Round Super Coaching. This has been Jim Does SuperCoach. Let's crack that top 10%. Happy Super Coaching.